It's once again time for us to go point by point and talk about the Creation Moments series that Matt Powell seems to be putting out there, which is really funny. Matt, you have all these videos on your channel where it's like end times, religion, death, you're gonna die, you know, where's your soul
yada yada yada, yeah.
But you also go further back in your history, and you haven't removed any of these videos from your public like viewage where it's you in college and you having fun playing ball and everything. That's great. But you also have commercials that you shot, quote unquote, shot with your friends where you're like having fun and enjoying life, and you know, having
they remind me of like the videos from high school, like the film students would make. It was fun. Yeah, it's fun.
It's life affirming kind of stuff, and then all of a sudden it goes from, you know, I am enjoying life and being a young person and having a good time to you're all going to hell and I must save every single one of you because I don't want you to burn in eternal hellfire.
Except for he totally does want us to burn. That's his whole thing. Is like,
yeah.
Repent or
love me or
I think there was a traumatic event. I just
super
maybe
I don't want it. I've sent him information like, hey, contact us, we'll have you on the show.
Sure.
He hasn't got back to us. Don't fucking care at this point.
Of course,
really.
Of course.
Josh Powell, and he's got a buddy by the name of Chris. What is it? Yeah, Gilham. I was going to say Gilliam. Okay. No, it's Gilham, who's going to be doing most of the talking on carbon dating debunked. And we're not going to make it through all 4 minutes, so let's just let it go.
God, no.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris Gilham. I'm with Way of Truth, and I'm 21 years old, and I believe that the Earth is no more than 6,500 years old.
Wow.
Well, then
that's just a silly belief.
Okay. You were 21,
huh? Yeah. I was married at 21, and that was a bad choice too. So
that was smart, Felicia. You totally got married at 21.
Yeah. No, I've been married for a year. It's fine. It's fine.
Many of us were doing silly things at 21. So
yeah.
There's time.
We attached this arbitrary notion.
I at least did not believe that the Earth was 61,000 years old. Although the ex-husband once did make me take seriously Ken Ham's arguments. Like, he's like, oh, let's work this through. Let's whiteboard this. He actually did that. We actually did that.
Really?
Did he actually break out a real whiteboard?
We had a whiteboard, and he made me whiteboard. Yeah, the ex-husband made me whiteboard Ken Ham's argument. That's the thing he did.
Anyway, the Earth's not 6,500 years old, Chris.
No.
You're 21. Read a fucking book. That's all I'm going to say.
So adorable.
Approximately 6,000 years old. And a lot of people my age get attacked for having that belief and say, well, don't you read the science books? And, well, when it comes to being changed every semester, it's kind of hard to follow a book. I choose to follow a book that's hundreds of years old.
Okay. You're talking about revisions to science.
Yeah.
Which is a ever-evolving process where we're locking shit down to even higher standards.
Right.
I'm sorry. He just said, it's hard to follow, so therefore I'm going to pick the easier thing to follow. I don't care if it's true. That's exactly what he just said.
No, it absolutely is. It absolutely is.
Talking about
it's hard. It's hard to do.
Right.
It's square. It's circle.
And I'm sorry, but you know, it doesn't. This. I mean, the science you're actually talking about doesn't change that much. In fact, it hasn't really changed for quite a while.
Just my favorite field of study was always chemistry. And you look at how people used to view the atom then versus now, and it hasn't gotten weirder or stranger or anything. It's gotten better every fucking time.
Right.
There was like the plum pudding model where you had where everything was just like in there, like inside this pie kind of thing. And then they're like, wait, no, they actually have orbits around this nucleus. And then the further scientists went like, yeah, but those orbits are fucking weird when you have this thing. And they're going so goddamn fast, you can't like specify where that electron's going to be spinning around the nucleus. Because once you lock it down, it ceases to exist. It's like once you observe it, it doesn't exist anymore kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing. And especially when you have physics to back this shit up, you know?
Right. It's not changing.
No,
it's, hang on. You're going to hate this word. It's evolving. Oh.
God damn it. Anyway, let's see what else this 21-year-old guy that likes his one book His one book is the King James version of the Bible, as I'm pointing out here, because it shows this on the freeze frame as I'm looking at it on my video here. Hang on.
It's never changed. It's called the King James Bible. It was printed in 1611.
Printed in 1611. From the time your Jesus died until 1611. When you got your King James version.
That's literally over 1,600 years.
You realize that version of the Bible that you're talking about was commissioned by King James.
Yeah,
King James wanted that book
to back up his political agenda.
Right. That's why it's different than the others.
Purposely left out certain books.
Right. And it became popular because he was the fucking king, and that was it.
These people don't know. They have no fucking idea. And then they come after us and they're like, "Oh, you atheist and never read a Bible in your life." You're like,
"Yeah, we have. We read a couple of them. Most of us.
Which one?"
I remember my mom had a version of the Bible called, what was it? The Book, I think is what it was called. The Book. And it was written in like modern day parlance.
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
God, it was dumb.
Really accurately that's really accurately translated, I'm sure.
Yeah, because it's taking translations from Aramaic down to Hebrew, down to Coptic Greek, down to, Gothic English, down to regular English, down to to Southern hillbilly, so it's not exactly going to be the right patois as we're talking about.
Yeah.
Here, so.
Yeah, I'm definitely sure that's relating the ideas that the ancients had.
For sure.
Absolutely. Metaphoric language being translated into super fucking serial speak. So anyway, this shit.
The Bible tells us that there's going to be people who profess themselves to be wise, but they became fools, and that they would come in the name of science, falsely so called. The Bible says in 1 Timothy chapter 6, in verse 20, "O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust. Avoid profane and vain babblings, and oppositions of science, falsely so called."
I don't know if Timothy actually had fucking words for science back
There was no word for science.
Don't think that word ever shows up in the Bible.
Like maybe towards the end. No.
Now, you guys banter for a second because I'm going to look this up. 1 Timothy.
Yeah, sure. I don't.
I
really doubt it.
No, I mean
I didn't realize Tim was a book in the Bible. I didn't realize that.
Tim.
Oh, Tim. No, science is a relatively new term, but the scientific method, the early versions were back in like ancient Arabic times.
So there's Arabic. King James version, which it does have the word science. The NIV has.
Hey, it does.
Let's see. Okay. So NIV has Timothy, guard which has been entrusted to your care. Turn away from godless chatter and the opposing ideas, what is falsely called knowledge. No science in the NIV. What about the next one? The ESV. Let's see. No science in ESV.
No,
so it's only King James.
So
it's only
King
amazing.
James. So only King James. So King James changed knowledge to science. Okay.
Oh, and here's all of them.
That's a silly way to put it because
it's a very silly way to put it.
Because even science doesn't claim it's like
knowledge.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, look! I brought up. Let's see. There's a website called BibleHub.com where it'll bring up whatever verse you want to bring up in all of the different Bibles. In all of the different Bibles. And guess what? The only one. Okay, I can't say. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 out of like 70 listed on this page that say the word science.
Okay, so the term science was coined in 1834 by Cambridge University historian and philosopher of science. It coined the term scientist to replace such terms as cultivator of science. That's the scientist.
So how did that get into the King James Bible?
Terms.
I don't know. We'd have to look into that more because.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I'm not going to consider the fucking King James.
Yeah, no.
It's certainly apparently 1600s. This is when the term science came into being at all, which makes sense because that was around the time of Galileo and the Renaissance. And that makes sense.
Anyway, back to this bullshit.
Okay.
People like to always say, "Well, we've got carbon-14 dating that proves that the Earth is billions of years old."
No, it doesn't.
That's not what that does.
No. Nope. Carbon-14 dating is just one one of many forms of radiometric dating.
Well, and carbon dating is only based on observational data. So like we use it as the half-life to base it off of other things that we can base in other times, right?
Right. But even that is only used. It's only useful when dating organic matter. You cannot use it. You cannot use it to date the age of the Earth. You can't use it in geological dating.
No.
So, as I'm looking at the Wikipedia here for radiological dating, you have, which is one of the more common ones, is potassium argon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It has a half-life, potassium 40, half-lifing into argon 40, has a half-life of 1.3 billion years.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to go further back than that, you have rubidium strontium, which is rubidium 87 to strontium 87, half-life of 50 fucking billion years. We don't use carbon 14 for
rubidium? You mean we don't use carbon 14 for rubidium? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
What you're saying, X?
We just don't use carbon 14 for anything over, I don't know, 5,000 years or so, because it's janky after that.
Right. Yeah. But the method, the primary method, dating method that they use to determine the age of the Earth is lead.
And on top of that,
dating lead, the decay of lead.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I'm completely ignorant in this subject.
Yeah.
And let's not also forget that
I thought we were using light measurement.
It has everything to do with where you find this sample too. There's stuff around the area of strata in which you are finding the age of these
things. There's the word. Strata.
Strata.
That's a sexy word. You know, where we can measure how cycles go, and then Earth folds over Earth, and then it creates lines, and then it's almost like tree rings, but a little bit different. But then it's pretty similar. Find me one Precambrian rabbit, I swear to fucking God. One Precambrian rabbit.
Okay, but it's gonna look like a crocodile. Is that all right?
Crocoduck.
Rabbit.
But I'm sorry. This is a rabbit. This is a very early rabbit.
This is a proto-rabbit. Thank you very much. I knew that. I knew them before they were cool.
Kind. It's of the same kind.
They chewed their cud just like all the other rabbits did. This guy, I swear.
That's great.
And, you know, carbon-14 dating has been debunked and disproved because everybody always assumes that if you take a chunk of pure material, it has X amount of carbon in it. Well,
for
you know what?
Organic matter, yes, it does.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know what doesn't have carbon in it? The sodium chloride.
Yeah.
Non-organic matter has
non-organic matter. But organic matter, yes, does have a certain amount of carbon in it.
Because guess what we're mostly made out of as life forms on this planet? Gee, I don't know. One of the most prevalent things on this planet, fucking carbon.
We're carbon-based life.
Right.
Ooh. But there are scientists looking into non-carbon-based life even on this planet.
Right, they do.
It's
but
amazing.
You may have missed it, but the hilarious part about it is he's talking about, you think it's just, a pure, no.
I hate how they've co-opted the word debunked.
Well, they
that was
co-opted the word debunked,
term.
but he's completely misunderstanding what it is because, over time, one element replaces another because of radioactive decay and because of other forms of mineralization that take place over time. It's the exact process he's complaining about that he's using to try to debunk this. You don't fucking know what he's talking about.
He's 21 and obviously never been to college to learn about this shit.
No, but
then they would say, "Oh, your college is you're
and
wrong."
Then he says the textbook changes every semester,
which is kind of funny because
it looks like
I've been to college, and they'll be like, "All right, this is this year's textbook, and you can also use these previous versions if you have to. There's going to be some changes. Don't worry, we'll talk about it in class."
Yeah,
because we realized that this textbook costs $300.
Because
there's minor changes.
But you know what? Everything
notate where the changes are. It's not big enough. They're like, you can't use the version from the 1950s, all right? But from the 1980s, it's fine.
But it looks like it changes if you never read it to begin with. and you're just like, oh, this shit doesn't look familiar. It must have
The
changed.
DSM-5 used to say that homosexuality was a mental illness, and then it didn't. Wow. Which one's correct there, buddy? Which one's correct? Because you can't have both. And you can't use words like debunked and disproven and then be like, science is bad. You can't sit there in the same thing and be like, science is bad, and then we disproved a thing. Because without science, you're not disproving a thing.
What gets me is that they're like, science is bad. Science is terrible. Science is bad. As I'm bringing you video coverage through fucking YouTube, you know,
and attempting to make.
If you are anti-science, you should not enjoy anything in the fucking modern world. You should not enjoy you shouldn't enjoy medicine. You shouldn't enjoy computers. You shouldn't enjoy television, music, any of it.
But X, we're anti-capitalist and we use these things.
Right. Yeah. Oh, wait, hang on.
I mean, working within the system in which we're currently living in.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
But they're rejecting the system in which we're currently living in and then utilizing it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
We accept the system we're living in. We just don't like it.
Right.
We're just slowly working it, changing it over generations. You know, we realize that there's nothing we can fucking do in our current lifetime. But maybe our grandkids would be like, hey, socialism's not so bad. You know?
Yeah, not so bad. Okay, but he's got more things to say, doesn't he?
Oh, yes, he does. Hang on. Here we go.
It seems to me that you're starting off with a false positive because you believe that this chunk of, say, this Bible was made out of pure lead. You're saying that this Bible, or that this chunk of lead has this much lead in it, but you don't know.
Isotopes, motherfucker. Yeah. Isotopes.
Okay.
We can count how many...
I'm sorry.
Man.
What was the
Because we could spend 20 minutes talking about that line right there. We could spend 20 minutes talking about isotopes.
Yeah, but we're not gonna.
We're not gonna.
It's not our job.
Just make him go. Just go.
No,
go,
we're gonna power through, and you got a doggo visiting.
Go.
It's contaminated with other materials, and if it is, that completely throws off your measurement.
No, it doesn't.
Lead. You're measuring certain lead isotopes in this fucking equation here. That's what you're measuring for fucking absolute age of... The uranium lead dating method leads up to about 4.5 billion years of half-life.
Right.
And that's when uranium-238 decays into lead-206. So if that book was solidly made out of lead-206 and not halfway through fucking uranium-238 decaying into that, it's something that was obviously produced, not something that's natural. You can't fucking use something that is produced and get accurate time measurement out of it with the way that you're talking about here, unless it's been within that area of strata that's been there. Oh my God. I am so fucking livid in this stuff.
It is not your job to educate him. This is not a science show. This is an entertainment show, and this guy is just spouting nonsense.
I know, but it's such...
He is. Okay, what's the next wacky thing he has to say?
It is so much rudimentary, elementary, fucking simple...
Liar.
Oh my God.
Right. Okay.
Science is hard, okay? I'm just going to read the Bible. It's just like...
Science is hard, okay? That's his thesis statement, you guys.
It is.
That is the theme of his show.
It makes me so mad that it's just such simple shit that, like, my kids would understand. Hey, you know how we realized we found the age of the Earth? We found that this certain type of uranium, only half of it was left over at this point, and it turned into this. That means that it took X amount of years for this to happen. Wow, that's cool, Dad. That's really neat. This guy's like, nope, that didn't happen at all because God.
Okay.
Okay, back to this.
All right, more wacky.
You're automatically assuming that it had this much of material in it when it could have been contaminated in other areas.
Fuck you. That's all he gets from that.
That's just not how it works. Okay, but go.
I hate the fucking piano music.
The piano music.
I would consider that a vain babbling because it's constantly changing. If we could tell the first time how old the Earth is with carbon-14 dating, why are we now up to 5.4 billion years?
We don't.
Not what we're up to. Not what we're up to. First of all, it's 4.5. Get your shit right if you're going to criticize it. First of all. Second of all, that's not how we determine the age of the Earth. Listen, just what the fuck? Just try for a second. Just read. Like watch one.
Right.
Cosmos. Just one fucking
seriously,
episode.
because they have one that just talks about this, because you know what they did? You know what they did? They had an estimate of the age of the Earth. And you know what happened? They discovered a new way to do radiometric dating. And
then they also based it off of observational data and then compared it to other factors in the universe. And that's it wasn't it wasn't one thing, but just try, just do better.
You know what else they did? They fucking replicated it all over the fucking planet.
If you could just prove it with your shitty fucking piano music in the background, that seriously makes me just want to, like, it's like that relaxing.
The rage is building. The rage is building.
No, I'm not okay.
Please go. Please make.
They also looked at moon rocks, Mars rocks, and other rocks within our fucking solar system, and realized, we're noticing that there's a striking similarity.
Yeah,
not gonna break my pearl bracelet. Not breaking my pearl bracelet. Gonna do it.
Start off with just a couple million years. Well, that's because they keep having to change it because they keep discovering more and more things that are like, well, maybe if we put enough time in there, we can justify macroevolution.
Yeah, they keep discovering more and more things.
They keep discovering more and more things.
How dare the scientists keep discovering more and more things?
Keep learning new shit, I guess. How dare they?
How dare you fucking keep educating yourself?
Right. You know what's crazy? Every time you turn a page of a book, you discover a new thing.
I don't know. I just, I saw a blue today. I learned a new blue.
I love learning new Pantone colors. I love learning. That's the name of that blue.
Now you're going to hell because you learned a new blue.
Okay. But where is he taking this?
Microevolution. And that's not the case. The only way they can do that is by saying the Earth is billions of years old. Because they say, well, we all came from a single-celled amoeba, and now we're all here.
With the span of 4.5
billion
years.
Yeah, but no, remember, he's saying that it's only 6.5, and then he's claiming that we had to make up the age of the universe, or the age of the Earth, to justify evolution.
Okay.
Even though the theory of evolution by natural selection came about before we understood the age of the Earth. I mean, it's almost like they supported each other. Because when you do science, you'll actually be able to confirm hypotheses. You'll be able to confirm theories through multiple forms of science, and therefore the geographical data supports evolutionary data. And evolutionary data supports geographical data.
Right. I don't know if you realize this, but when Darwin came up with his theory of evolution, one of his problems was, I just don't see how this could work because I don't know that this shit's old enough for this to work.
He didn't even know genetics existed.
And he also was like, I don't want this to be the reasoning behind things. I don't, like, I've noticed that this is the way it is. And he's like,
him and his buddy came up with it at the same time. And then they wrote each other about it, found out they had the same hypothesis, and were like, write a paper together. That's what they did.
And they were Christians.
They were Christians.
God, this person. Oh, I hate it so much. I hate the fact that they just deny everything.
Did not denounce evolution on his deathbed. He didn't.
No, he didn't. Okay, just hang on. Just out of curiosity, how far into this video are we?
Half. We're not going to finish it. We're honestly not going to finish it because we're 23 minutes into this shit.
That piano music is
terrible. I'm going to give him... He is wrong about everything. He is absolutely dead wrong about absolutely everything.
And you're making me listen to that goddamn
go to school.
Sad piano music. School. I don't even know what it is. It's atrocious. It's an offense to music. It's bad.
Look, I'm sorry. You're 21. Go to fucking school.
Don't read the Bible. Read the Bible as
to school.
as literature.
Literally any other book. Any other book.
Just
I don't give a shit if it's Narnia, which just is a Christian fiction. Like, just read that one. Just read Narnia. Read like those 7 books. That's fine. Whatever.
And fantasize about Mr. Tumnus as much as you want. Anyway, I'm gonna let him play. I'm gonna get one more comment out of him, and then we're gonna call it quits because I can't handle this shit. One more comment out of this asshole.
But that still doesn't explain why we're here or how we got here.
No,
they're
completely different fields of study.
Yeah. We're not talking about abiogenesis or anything here. Anyway.
Big enough number at it to justify it. And the Bible warns us against people like that because it's vain and profane babblings and they have no proof. Say if you were to go out and find a piece of raw material like lead and you were going to say, I'm going to carbon-14 date this.
It wouldn't work.
That's not going to work
because it's a hunk of lead.
Guess how much carbon is in lead? Guess
None.
how much carbon is in
no carbon in lead. There's no carbon in lead.
Right. Carbon-14 dating will not work on lead because there is no carbon in it. You
guys, he just said take an element that's not carbon and then carbon date it. That's what he just said. That's what he just said. What is this shit?
School is important. Go to school.
You can access the periodic table from anywhere. We all have smartphones now. They're just there. You can just Google it. Just Google it, and then just there's the periodic table on your phone. You can see that lead is not carbon.
Fucking 5 minutes. 5 minutes on Wikipedia.
Like carbon on the periodic table is like over here somewhere.
Yeah.
Lead is way the fuck down here in the heavy transition, like heavy metals.
It's like heavy metal.
Totally different. Totally
not
different.
a thing.
You know what? Fuck, dude, if you want to make a video about something, fucking Google it first. Read a Wikipedia article on it. Read about your subject.
Or just start attacking us.
Reading is hard.
Do you like the Bible? Which I guarantee you never read because goddamn that genetics gets dull as shit and no one gets through it.
Yeah, it's like what is it? Second Nephi when they start talking about grafting branches and shit. It's like, anyway, I'm gonna talk about this carbon dating fucking lead. Hang on.
You're gonna have to make some assumption or use your own rules that you make up to try to guess how much carbon was in that piece of material from its origin.
Done.
This idea is dildos.
Done.
From that piece of lead.
From that piece of lead. I'm gonna guess, using my own assumptions, that there is no fucking carbon in that piece of lead.
Ring made out of solid tungsten carbide. I'm going to test it for rubidium. None. Hey, how about that? You know.
I'm gonna test this egg from a chicken for glass.
I mean, there could be some silicon in there. I mean, maybe trace amounts, but
it's like okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Wait, hang on. I'm gonna take this egg and I'm gonna test it for thallium. There's a good one for you people.
There you go. How much thallium is in my chicken egg?
I'm gonna look at this up. I'm gonna look at this egg and try to find Americanium. You know,
it doesn't.
Whatever the fuck you call it.
Okay, we're gonna test me for X. Like, there's not
no traces found.
There's no traces of X in me. None. Or Kyle, for that matter.
None whatsoever.
Okay, there might be a little.
Well, there was that one night. Ha ha.
Oh.
You know, we are your gay uncles for a reason there, Felicia.
I
know,
that's the joke.
That's enough. That's enough of this shit.
God thank God.
Matt, come on, man.
Just
come
do
on.
Better. Do better.
We should not be able to have as many laughs and rage moments at your shitty presuppositional apologetics.
Mostly I'm raging at that piano music.
Well, the piano music is absolutely terrible. That's unforgivable. But the fact that you can get basic, absolutely basic terminology right when you're talking
carbon we could find in lead. He said, take a piece of lead. How much carbon are you gonna find in that? None, motherfucker. That's lead. Jesus Christ. This is what we're dealing with. These people vote.
School is important.
Don't vote, liberals. Like, just don't let them. They voted for Trump. They think that they're like.
Better yet,
the end of the world is coming. They're pushing for the end of the world.
No,
they want the end of the world. Don't let them win.
Look, if anybody ever starts a lecture or any kind of anything, any explanation with, I'm only 21 years old, don't fucking listen to them because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about because they're fucking 21 years old.
Unless they're Doogie Howser.
Or they got a new cocktail.
Maybe. But they're still 21 years old, so I'm not going to trust a cocktail they come up with.